Hello, everybody. Today I'm making food themed merch, and I will show you my process on how I turn a Pokemon into food art, which I will eventually cook and turn into a recipe card along with keychains, prints, and other items for conventions I plan to attend this year. So let's get started. The reason why I'm doing this video today is because of my first convention. It didn't go too well, and that was because I didn't have enough merchandise that was non-VTuber related. And so I wanted to expand my selection a bit, but also get involved with creating food themed merch as part of a direction for my overall inventory. A couple of days ago, I was at the bookstore looking for interesting ideas to turn into merchandise that wasn't VTuber related, and I happened across this book here, and it's a Pokemon themed cookbook, and as you can see, there's some cute stuff here, and I was thinking, what if I just turn that into like VTuber related or game related merchandise? I did see there were like Dungeon and Dragon cooking type of books, so I know a market exists for it. And then I got to looking inside the book itself. There's some pretty interesting recipes in here. Some of them look great. I would love to try cooking them at some point. And then there are other recipes where I'm not quite so sure, because I kind of see the connection to Charizard here, but it's barely there, I will say. So I thought to myself, I could do this a lot better, I think. So that's what today's victim is going to be. So the merch will be keychain, print, some kind of dish that resembles Charizard. If somebody brought it out to you on a plate, you could say, oh yeah, that's a Charizard, cool, as opposed to just a pasta dish. And so starting from there, so the first thing that I usually do with any kind of inspiration art is to take a look at where some of the important things that I can pull out from the design. And the first thing I think of immediately is the colors. So here we got some primary colors and some secondary colors in the overall palette. Got orange, yellow, and then greens, white, and a little bit of blue, but I probably won't do anything specific for that. And then the fire. So the orange and the yellow being the primary colors, I have to think, okay, where's some of the things that I know have those kind of colors in them? And immediately, of course, not any bias from this, but pasta dishes. Specifically, I'm looking for what can I do that would have an orange base on it. Sure, we could do like mac and cheese, but I want to kind of elevate the dishes that I would put into the recipe cards and eventually a cookbook. So I don't want to go too basic. So where are some of the other like orangey toppings that I can think of? I'm thinking of like a vodka sauce, um, but I don't really want to mess with alcohol for these kind of dishes. So what we could do is a creamy tomato. When you mix the heavy cream with tomato sauce, you usually get a kind of an orangey color. So I think that would work. And the pasta itself can come in a yellowish color. I don't know if I would use like egg noodles or standard noodles. I might go for a shelled type of pasta because those tend to go better with creamy sauces as opposed to these type of noodles where they tend to go better with meatier sauces. So that's a start here. Got colors orange, yellow, green, red, white. These are our base tones, secondary, and then accents. Then this is roughly the time that I start thinking of, okay, any personality, any lore related stuff that we could build into the dish. As so I did this because we've been determining the staple, so to speak, of the dish, and now it's the additional elements that we want to work with to make sure it all harmonizes. I'm looking at this fire here. Yeah, it definitely has to be spicy, right? So let's make the whole dish spicy. Treats spicy. And then staple pasta with sauce. So sauces, creamy tomato. See, for the orange tone. And then I'm thinking about how best to use the yellow elements because yes, we could do like a naked section of the pasta, but I actually have a better idea. Garlic bread. And the reason why I think of garlic bread is actually because of this round shape right here. And then the tail, the bottom side of the tail. And what I'm thinking of here is garlic bread is typically made with the Italian or French bread, which are kind of like baguettes. So you could do a round cut of the bread and then do diagonal cuts. So you have bits of the crust showing, and then you can stack them up. So if you don't want to include some kind of protein in this dish, you could use garlic bread to kind of fill out this yellow representation right here. So the round, and then the diagonal cuts stacked on top of each other like this. Alternatively, if you want to include some kind of protein in this dish, I think you could certainly put in some chicken and then just stack them slice by slice on the tail. So these guys for the tail. and then this for the body. And then green, it's good to have some vegetables, and it's a bit on the darker side. So I'm thinking basil, a little bit of pesto, and some spinach to provide that greenery. And then you can shape it accordingly. So that's already looking pretty good. As then we have the white elements. I'm thinking cheese. Get Parmesan cheese, feta cheese maybe, and then you can arrange them in small triangles to represent the claws. Then you can add maybe some seasoning to help outline certain things. And keeping in mind that this is going to be a spicy dish overall. There is a particular ingredient that I love in my spicy dishes, and that is black lava salt. So it's a very spicy salt that makes a nice presence. So I could use that for outlines along the body just to help reinforce the overall shape. And then getting into the specifics of the spiciness, that's something I will have to experiment with, but it most likely will be chili flakes. So we got those main components there. I think we can move on to the next step, which is a actual concept. So we want a dish. I was gonna move this off to the side a little bit so you get a better view here. So it's gonna be plated, of course. And then I want to just capture the overall shape here. And I'm thinking, since we want to include the tail and the wings, it is going to have to be kind of a circular design. So maybe along this edge is what we do for this design. So overall, it's going to be pretty much edge to edge with pasta. And then from there, the sauce is going to go on top of that. So that'll give us our overall body tone. And then we have the garlic bread. So I'm thinking, if we put the belly right here, this could be our garlic bread, round. And I'm already starting to see the spirit of the composition here, which I'm happy about. So for the additional slices of garlic bread, we're going to have it follow a curve. And these will be the stacked slices of garlic bread. So it'll be diagonal cuts like this. And are you guys seeing this very well? I don't think so. I'm going to grab okay, this should be better. Okay, so the diagonal slices a garlic bread here, and we'll see a little bit of the crust on this side. And then just repeat that a couple of times. I think that looks pretty good. And then at the end of the tail here, we have a flame. And I'm thinking, since it's a pasta dish, I could probably sneak some either chilies or sun-dried tomatoes at the end as a garnish. So something like this. I think that looks great as a base right there. And then as far as the overall composition, I'm thinking if the belly is going to be over here, may as well extend the body accordingly. And it basically turns into something like this. And this would be where the neck goes. And then we can play with the edges of the dish a little bit to help refine the shape. Make sure I'm somewhat accurate here. Now, the part of the problem with this approach is where do the wings go? And I'm thinking we can add a little bit of the wings along this edge. And then another set of wings, the other wing back here as a contrast to the head. And so this could be spinach, and then this could be the basil leaves. And then we can use stencils, for example, to get the right shapes when we're pouring on the Parmesan cheese. And then taking a close look, it is slightly blue here, but I'm going to cheat a little bit and say green. So a tiny bit of spinach or kale here for the eyes. And we got this whole body to contend with. So let's sprinkle in some cheese. Get those claws in. And then another set over here. And then for the sake of making this work, I'm actually going to leave the legs out. Just kind of imagine that they extend down below the overall composition here. And this is where using a more decorative seasoning can come in handy. So I would use a black Mava salt here to reinforce this line, and then add a couple here just to help make this stand out, as these are the claws of a Charizard. So I think this looks pretty decent, and over the next couple of days, I'm going to be taking this over into Clip Studio Paint and just kind of refine move things around and see what works and what doesn't. But I think this is likely the form of the merchandise as it stands. Then for like keychains, we'll add a loop right here for the actual recipe card itself. The template that I'm working on is still a work in progress, so please look forward to that. And that is basically the idea to the concept for this pasta dish. I hope this was helpful, maybe inspirational to you, and I will continue to do these type of videos where I just take you through my process as how we work on different merchandise. So please look forward to those, and I'll see you in the next video.